moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Friday, the 4th day of July. Yes, it's July the 4th. For those of you who are on the outside, if you know what I mean, it's the 4th of July. And we're coming to you live from the Magdalena Grand Resort and Beach Golf. And we're so happy to be coming to you this morning. I am Adana Kumbi, and we want to welcome you this morning to the morning show.
Good morning, and my name is Akinlabi, and like Adana said, it's great to be outside. The air is fresh. There's a little bit of rain, but you know, it's stopped and things are a little damp, but get out there and get ready to go, Adana.
That's right. We're always so happy to be on the outside, you know. Every time we come outside, as Akinlabi said, we get to take in the fresh morning air. And we seaside, you know, as I said, we are the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. So we're having a good time this morning. We do hope that you could stay with us throughout the entire programming this morning as we have the conversations that you want to be a part of. But before we get into all of that, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Good morning. I am Lavian Cupid, and here's what's making your news in 90 seconds for Friday, 4th July 2025. Former Tobago House of Assembly Minority Leader Ashwood Chak says he is hopeful that the necessary allocation from central government to cover expenses related to the February 7th, 2024 oil spill will be forthcoming. In an interview with Good Morning Tobago, Jack said the government represented both Trinidad and Tobago and further highlighted the policy constraints of the Tobago House of Assembly regarding insurance coverage for major events. Weighing in on the topic of the controversial Prime Minister's Pension Amendment Bill 2025, which was passed in the Senate on Monday, the former assemblyman said it was unfortunate that the bill targeted one individual. He added that national policy should focus on development and not be personalized. The passage of the bill excluded former Prime Minister Stuart Young from the $1 million pension benefits. Up next, the Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce has welcomed the introduction of the mobile unit launched by the TTPS in Scarborough on Wednesday. Speaking with Tobago Updates, Chamber Chairman Curtis Williams described the initiative as a step in the right direction toward improving public safety and boosting community confidence. Williams said business owners on the island, particularly those in high traffic areas, have long advocated for more visible policing to deter crime and provide quicker response times during emergencies. He further added that the Chamber sees this move as a collaborative effort between law enforcement and the private sector. And finally, Piarco International Airport came a buzz yesterday afternoon with the arrival of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Scores of invited guests dressed in traditional Indian attire lined the tarmac for the chance to greet the South Asian leader. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar and members of her cabinet were all present upon his arrival, followed by which the entourage made its way to the National Cycling Center in Couva, where Modi delivered a speech to hundreds of eagerly awaiting guests. Later today, Prime Minister Modi will address the Parliament in a special joint sitting. He is also expected to be presented with the country's highest award, the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And that's it for your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Lavian, for our news there in 90 seconds. And I want to take this moment to say congratulations to all of our students who sat the SEA. We know the results came out last night, and I know a lot of students, mommies and daddies, are rejoicing. So, of course, we say congratulations to you, and mommies and daddies, we want to say it doesn't matter where your child was placed. And child, this is for you too. It does not matter where you are placed. You can bloom where you are planted. Wherever you end up, you can shine, make your mark, bring your own personality there, and do your absolute best. But I have a very, very special congratulations message this morning, and I hope Heidi is listening to us. Congratulations to Heidi Graham. This is our little friend who also pays attention to Biana when she reads the news in 90 seconds, and I know that you would have appreciated seeing her this morning. But she knows that mommy and daddy are proud of you, and she wants you to keep working hard, stay focused, and always put God first. Put him at the center, and success will surely follow you. All the best on this new journey from Biana. And that is for our little friend Heidi Graham. Congratulations to you and all our students who sat the SEA exam this year and who received their results last night. Akinlabi and Lavian, it's really an exciting time for our young children as they prepare to go on to another stage of the journey that they're in, the journey of life. They're going to meet new friends. They're going to see people from different primary schools, and they're going to start new relationships and have different experiences. And I am excited. I don't have a child in SEA. I didn't have a child in SEA this year, but at the same point in time, I just feel so excited for the parents and the children, this new journey that they're heading on to.
Oh, yes, indeed. This big transition, and which really paves the way into adulthood, into young adulthood. So congratulations going out to all of them. And piggybacking on what you said, indeed, wherever you are planted, you go there and you bloom. Remember to participate in every single activity that your school has. That is how you become a well-rounded individual, that you would be able to feel firm in who you are when you leave high school and enter into college, or even enter into the workplace. All those initiatives in school, all those groups, they make you and mold you into the person. So congratulations, and go out there and do your best indeed.
I remember every time around this time of the year, I get flashbacks to when I got my results. But it was common entrance.
Why are you trying to age us?
It was common entrance then, but I always have this sort of excitement for when results come out. Where have you been placed? How well did your friends do? Which of your friends are going to the same school with, and you get this kind of excitement of starting to imagine and wonder what school is going to be like now that you're going to secondary school. So I really feel a sense of joy and excitement for those children and for their parents as well. And like you said, Adana, you could grow where you're planted, I think I told you this last week, that I think that all schools in Tobago, they have good teachers. And once you keep your head down, you can excel no matter where you've been placed. So I encourage all the students, you all just keep your heads down and you would grow wherever you are planted.
That's right. Coming from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television, we really are proud of you, and we wish you the very, very best for your new school term beginning in September of 2025. Well, Lavian, thank you so much for being on set with us this morning and bringing the news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. And of course, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we love a good celebration. So we're going to start off the birthdays this morning by saying happy birthday to Miss Onika Blackman. Onika Blackman is celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy birthday to you. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope that you have a wonderful, amazing birthday today. And we say happy birthday to you as you enter this new phase of your life.
And we continue, we say happy birthday to Mr. Ezra Bullen. Mr. Ezra Bullen, happy birthday to you. This is your special day. God's richest blessings to you. May you be surrounded with family and friends and those who love you and wish you well, and shower you with great presence and love and kindness and just all that goodness. And we hope that you take this time off to reflect on your life and thank God for all that He's done for you.
That's
Happy birthday as well.
That's right. And we rung the birthday celebrations up by saying happy birthday to Mr. Ellis Otley. Ellis Otley is also celebrating a birthday today. And Ellis, we pray God's blessings upon your life as you enter this new phase and this new chapter. We pray that the pages of this chapter are beautifully written and you have wonderful experiences, and that most of all you experience the love of God. So happy birthday to you. And remember, if you are celebrating, whatever you're celebrating, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, a promotion, your children just passed SEA for the school of their choice, whatever you are celebrating, we here at Tobago Updates Television, we join in the celebration with you. And we remind you to put God first, because He is the sole reason why there's even anything for you to celebrate.
That's right.
So, Akinlabi,
Yes.
it's Friday and we're on the outside.
Yes,
you know,
we're
the
outside.
folks know we're here at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. And every time we're out here at the Magdalena, we always have such a wonderful, wonderful time. We have a wonderful show. So who are we having conversations with this morning?
Well, Adana, we're having conversations with Miss Aisha McKnight, who is the program coordinator, and she's coming to speak to us about the academic writing assistance. And then next up, we have Miss Nadira Stewart, who is the dance ensemble secretary, and Mr. Keith Johnson, who is a dance tutor, and they're going to tell us about Dancing with the Stars. Yes, Dancing with the Stars coming up soon. I believe it's July 12th. And after that, we have Marcus will be in to talk sports.
All right. You know, it's Friday, so we keep things light. We keep things nice. We're heading on into the weekend. And, you know, I do hope, Akinlabi, I don't know what your plans are this weekend.
Work and more work.
What? Boy, I know it can be like that sometimes, you know, and I hope you find some time within the work and more work to rest and more rest, you know,
Maybe
go
Sunday.
to the beach, you know,
Maybe
hang out
Sunday.
with family and friends and loved ones and stuff like that. And I hope the same for you too, our viewers this morning, that you find some time within the busy weekend to just relax, go to the beach, sip on a nice cocktail or a mocktail, and, you know, just have a wonderful, wonderful weekend with family, friends, and loved ones. Remember to spend time with those that matter. Well, before we get into all the conversations here this morning, we have to go for a short break. And as we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me rum my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up, take out something and fling it up.
Do you think you know Premier League or Champions League football? What about international cricket or the IPL and CPL? How about NBA basketball? Well, now you can put your skills to work to earn some extra cash by betting on the games with TT Bet Arena. Simply go to our website, choose a sport you want to bet on, find the games and place your bets. And with your computer or mobile device, you can bet from anywhere. Just go to ttbetarena.com, sign up for a free account, make a deposit, and start betting. It's that simple. You can even qualify for our $2,000 sign-up bonus. We also have horse racing, plus live casino games where you can bet using TT dollars. And check our new Tobago location at 7B Milford Road, Crown Point. For more info, call or WhatsApp 494-0634. TT Bet Arena, the #1 sports betting company in Trinidad and Tobago.
With Flow Business's new smart solutions powered by super fast, reliable broadband, you'll feel like there are more versions of you working for you. From website design, development, and digital marketing to promote your business, 24/7 business class support to cloud solutions, security, and more. Multiply your growth today.
Hello, New York. Are you ready to celebrate the essence of Crusoe land and the culture of Tobago? Well, get ready for Tobago Day in New York City, hosted by the Tobago Empowerment and Alliance Mission, Sunday, August 17th, 2025, Nazareth High School Courtyard, 475 East 57th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 12 noon to 8 p.m. We bring the Tobago vibes to the Big Apple. Live music, Tobago food, cultural performances, and family fun. So bring Tanty, Granny, the uncle, uncle. Invite the whole neighborhood. Just bring everybody and bring your significant other too. Come celebrate Tobago Day in New York City, Sunday, August 17th, Nazareth High School courtyard. But hey, I forget to tell all you, it's we 10th anniversary celebration. For more information, call 929-327-7857 or check Team's Facebook and Instagram pages, Team Tobago Day.
Are you in a dispute with a registered investment service provider of the TTSEC? Or maybe you're the victim of an investment scam? You can lodge a complaint or submit an anonymous tip to the Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission. Download our Investor Protection app or go to ttsec.org.tt to access our complaint form or submit an anonymous tip. Write a clear summary of your complaint. Submit copies of supporting documents along with the originals for verification. Provide a copy of the feedback received from the entity regarding your complaint. All investor complaints or scam reports submitted by the public are acknowledged and reviewed by the TTSEC. Investigations are pursued based on the outcome of the review. Trinidad and Tobago Securities and Exchange Commission, protecting the interests of investors and the public. You invest, we protect. Everyone benefits.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to our viewers at the Tobago Updates morning show. We are at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, yes. And we have in studio with us Miss Aisha McKnight, who is the program coordinator, and she's going to be talking about the Academic Writing Assistance Program. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So tell us, Ms. McKnight, what is the Academic Writing Assistance Program?
Well, my business is Knights Analytics, and at Knights Analytics, we assist students of all ages with their research projects, their projects for coursework assignments, their dissertations, thesis. We have done doctorates, masters, assisting persons on those levels, and we also have persons on our team who assist students at primary school level with their writing, their SBAs, remedial work, that kind of stuff. So academic assistance is all around for us.
Okay, and I'm thinking, could you get into some of the specifics in terms of how do you assist these persons?
Sure. We have a lot of students now going back, adults going back to school to get your master's, to get your doctorate. And what happens is that life gets in the way. So sometimes you are unsure of the, I had one client who never did project management, but had to do critical path analysis. And so we assisted with that. In directing how it has to be done and guiding them along. Okay. We had persons who were unsure of the writing styles and how to do whether MLA, Chicago, Harvard, all these different things. So we assisted with that as well. We did the research behind a lot of some master's degrees and some doctorates, just to help them, push them along, just guiding persons along. There are persons, when they submit their paper, in the first draft, you get a high plagiarism content. So they would send it to us, and we would bring that down to whether 0%, 3%, whatever it is, but way below the required amount. So things like that we do. As I said, we have persons on our team who do a lot of remedial work with students. You have a student who isn't doing well, or they're falling behind. One of our team members would be able to assist them and bring them up to the level, whether reading level, math level, bring them up to the level where they should be.
Okay, because the reason I asked, because persons would have concerns about whether you are actually doing the assignment.
That was exactly my question, because
we guide. We guide from the beginning to the end as far as your topic. Especially when you're doing your master's and your doctorate, you have to decide on if your topic has enough weight to push a 10,000, 20,000 word document.
So my question is, at what stage do you start offering assistance? And you're talking about coming up with even the topic in terms of what they're going to be writing on based on the area of study. So is that you sit with them and consult on what your topic should be, or what you should call your paper, your dissertation?
Yes, we sit with the person, with the student, and you have to say what you want to write, and we will guide you along a more efficient topic, because sometimes persons come with topics that are just broad or just out there, like you have a question in your mind and it's far-fetched. And with doing research, you have to be more refined in order to get a proper paper. You have to know if there's enough information out there in order for you to do your literature review, in order for you to get the number of words that you want in your literature review. If you could even talk about it, if you could argue that topic with whatever research is out there, because there's a lot of research out there, but if it's credible research. So we assist with that.
What about in instances where there isn't credible research, but is a topic that's worth delving into? Do you all assist in them being one of the pioneers of starting that type of research?
Sure, we do that. I myself am diving into some research that has not been done here in Tobago, because the truth of the matter is I love research. I'm a researcher at heart. So it's easy for us to, and then we created a team from different backgrounds. So we're able now to research any topic. We have experts in various topics. So we're able to assist along the way. If the team has to come in, then the team has to come in. But most times people speak to me.
And I was going to ask, in terms of, does it matter what the person is studying? Is it a communication student, or I'm studying science, or I am doing biology, or I am doing marine something? Does it matter the industry or the topic or the team or the subject area that the students is focusing on?
It doesn't matter. Again, because we have a vast team of experts, people who have studied in their field, and then sometimes I also manage a transatlantic team. So sometimes we have persons, I have researchers in, so if you're doing research across Nigeria, Africa, India, I have persons on that side who would pull that research as well and send it to us to assist you with your paper. Yes.
So you have a
wide network.
So let me ask this question, right? Because it's really, really interesting. And what does the client have to bring to you for you to start working with them? Is it that they can come with a clean slate, they don't have an idea, they don't have a clue? Or do they have to bring something that you can work with? Let's say, for instance, a first draft or something. Where do you start with these clients?
We start from the get-go. Sometimes persons have various ideas in their minds of what they want their dissertation to be. And when you come and you speak with us, we narrow it down for you. But sometimes you come just like, Aisha, I don't know what to write on. I like this, I like this, I like that. I just don't have any idea what I want to write on. And I'll say, okay. And we'll start that conversation to get you to the place of understanding what exactly you want to write on. Something that you are passionate about, or something that might affect you personally.
Okay, so I want us to get onto the meat of the business. This is a business.
Yes.
What are your fees like?
We charge based on based on what you want. We do rubric tests, we do plagiarism tests, we do your artificial intelligence test to make sure that you're not going on ChatGPT and writing the entire document and it's showing up in Turnitin. We also do a word count. So we charge sometimes 50 cents a word, depending on what you want to do. If we want to do editing, just a plagiarism check, $1 a word, things like that. And because your document, if we are helping you with your document, we guide you through referencing, your diagrams, everything, your formatting, everything. So when you're done and we're done editing your document, you just, And
you sound very, very passionate. Earlier you mentioned that you're a researcher at heart, right? How long have you been in this business, and how many can you give an average and an estimate of how many persons you've helped over the years that you've been in this?
I mean, this didn't start as a business. I had friends coming to me asking for advice, asking to read over this document for me, edit this for me, edit that for me. And then I said, okay, listen, I have a business now.
Monetize this. That's right.
Let's start something here. And honestly, the business works a lot by referral, because I do not say who my clients are. For you to come to me, most times, you either see the ad on Facebook or a client that I had referred you to me. I had persons who send me documents 5 hours before the deadline, and had to work through the night to fix edits and everything for them before it's submitted 5 o'clock in the morning. So I mean, it's exciting. It takes a lot of time, but it's exciting work because at the same time the team expands their mind and we get to learn about other topics as well, whether finance, whether project management, whatever it is. We learn as well as we are doing the research. And
I am thinking it doesn't, when I spoke earlier about the area of study, I'm thinking that the type of research or the way you assist is basically the skeleton, like the format. It doesn't matter the content, but is it that you focus on the format to ensure that they have the elements that will make up the paper, to ensure they have, whether it's the intro, the executive summary, the methodology. Is it that you focus on the format and then build the content around that? Is that basically how it is done?
The format most times, depending on the school that you're going, is the same throughout the years. So we understand the format. We understand what teachers are looking for. I remember telling a customer of mine that her supervisor wasn't sure what they were talking about because we kept getting feedback after helping her with the document, and the feedback was off. And so I told her, okay, let's do it my way. Let's do it my way. And she passed, and I think she got a B. And in that school, they mark her, so a B was like an A+.
I want our viewers to know how to contact you, because I'm sure this is not a conversation that is a regular, everyday conversation.
No, it's
people
not.
Are looking for help for all different. In fact, people don't even know they need help, right? And
but that's another thing.
Right.
Some people think that they get it, and sometimes you go through that process, and you don't want to spend all that money on a master's or a doctorate, and then you fail courses. So that's why we are here to help.
So how can persons contact you if they want to get help?
I am on Facebook and Instagram at Knights Analytics, and my number for this business is 680-2104. You could WhatsApp me on that number.
All right, this conversation is so engaging and, exciting, and I wish we had more time, because I really am. I never ever thought that I'd be having a conversation of this nature, like building a business from something that is just so.
Yes.
A friend asked for help, and I think I have the skill. And the area that you're helping in terms of writing and generating research and information for somebody.
Yeah, because I realized that a lot of us have been out of school for so long. and we're going back now to upgrade. And struggling. And struggling with life, children, work, everything, husband, boyfriend, all the problems of life. All the situations of life. And so that is how this came in, and it's a pleasure to assist persons to achieve their goals.
Well, of course, we wish you the absolute best. We wish you all the success as you continue to help others. May you also get the same help. I hope your team expands, in quality and quantity as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you so much. We've been speaking with Miss Aisha Knight, and the service, if you are looking for help, you're writing a paper, you're thinking about going back to school and thinking, oh gosh, them children, work. There is help for you, so you can contact her on Facebook and Instagram to get the help that you so need. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations right here at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort. But before we go, we invite you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Hair goals, we've got them. At S&R Hair Fantasy, we provide a wide variety of quality hair, the latest hair accessories, adult toys, skin lightening products, female underwear, and much more under one roof. Check us out on Shelbourne Street in Plymouth or call us at 317-0808. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. S&R Hair Fantasy for queens who know exactly what they want.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun Up,
Real bad girl get nasty.
the brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Harblow Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun Up, it's more than a brunch, it's an experience.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but I have the cousin Tufina tell me for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me picnic them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trade Springer down by the place down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trade Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We're outside, yes, we are at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, and we continue conversations this morning. We speak with Miss Nidra Stewart. She is the secretary of the dance ensemble, and Mr. Keith Johnson, who is a tutor, and we're talking about Dancing with the Stars. And unless you're living under a rock, you know that's the next exciting event to take place here on the island of Tobago. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Of course, a pleasure having you here with us this morning. And as I mentioned, a very, very exciting event that is coming up here on the island of Tobago. And before we get into this year's edition of the event, I just want to give us a little history about who Dance Ensemble is and how you came up with the idea for the event.
All right, so Dance Ensemble is Tobago's premier ballroom and Latin dance group. We consider ourselves the umbrella of all dance groups here in Tobago. And of course, we promote social and competitive ballroom dancing throughout the island. We had our genesis in the 1980s, so we are 30 plus years old.
Wow, I never knew that you were around for so long, you know. I know Mr. Johnson, anytime I go anywhere and I see him out the feet, busy on the dance floor, so I know that you have good stuff going on there. And so we're here now, we're talking about Dancing with the Stars. How did you come up with the concepts for Dancing with the Stars?
All right, so of course we know of Dancing with the Stars internationally on television, and we thought that's a good aspect to add to our competition. So that wasn't always part of our competition. We added it a couple of years ago. I think this is the 5th time we're having that edition added to the program. So originally it was really based on that, and also because we wanted, as we said, our objective is the promotion of social and competitive ballroom dancing. So that was helping to achieve our objective as well.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, I know you're a dance tutor, and I suspect that you have been working with the stars to get them ready for the competition. What has the experience been like working with these stars over the years and in this year in particular as well?
Well, basically, working with the stars is no different to working with new members that come in. First, to begin, you try to motivate them, right? You try to break the step down nicely so they can understand. And when you love doing something, it is never a problem when you are teaching beginners. I love this dancing. I have a passion for this dancing. And regardless if you come to us and you have 2 left feet, we will straighten that out for you.
Okay, I think I might need to come there and learn some moves. Yeah, I might have two right ones, but I do have a left and a right.
All right, as the stars are preparing for the event, what is the feedback in terms of, one, when you reach out to somebody to be a part of the show, do they readily accept? Do they come in with nerves? What is the feeling like before you get them to say, well, yes, and get them started in terms of preparing for the show?
Well, when you, the fact is, when you hear dancing, people get a little bit jumpy, right? So you would say, listen, just as how you see somebody dancing out, you see people dancing in parties, or you see people dancing in a wedding, it is the same way. It's the same, and from the time you could walk, you can dance. We have a rhythm, right? We Afro Americans, we have a rhythm. Afro West Indians, we're born with that rhythm. So all you have to do is to get them moving, normal walking action. And after they let them put some rhythm into the whole thing. I tell everybody, anytime you could walk, you could dance. So it's not a problem. From the time you show them something easy, you bring them in, you drop a couple dances on the floor, and see which one of them that they will come into quickly, because people learn differently with different dance, and each dance has different characteristics as well. So you want to get them into the whole dance, and then from there, you make a decision as to which dance to go with.
Right. And what has the response been over the years as you engage the stars or celebrities as they come in, and not just them, also buy-in from stakeholders and people who just want to come and take in the show? What has the response been like over the years?
It has been really, really good. Because it was originally an in-house competition. We started off in Scarborough, then we went to Signal Hill, and we have since outgrown Signal Hill. So we're at the Shore Park Cultural Complex this year because our numbers keep growing. Our participants in the different categories keep growing. So it has been something that has been developing over the years. Yeah.
Okay, all right. We want to thank you, Miss Nidra Stewart and Mr. Keith Johnson, for being with us. Viewers, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk with some of the participants for this year's Dancing with the Stars. But help us as we go. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance, our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Shore Park Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirrorball Trophy? Mrs. Tatiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios. And Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show, dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We are at the Magdalena Grand Beach and Golf Resort, and we continue the conversation with Dancing with the Stars. It's upcoming, yes, and guess what? In studio with us this morning, we have two of our celebrities who are our local stars, and they will be participating in the event. Ladies and gentlemen, with us we have Miss Lynette Louis and Mr. Julian Skeet. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, good morning.
And you might know that name, Julian Skeet. He's very, very humble. Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure having you guys with us this morning, and congratulations for being selected and accepting the offer to participate in Dancing with the Stars. I was teasing them before we came on air, talking about our local celebrities, which they are, rightfully so, this morning. So we want to talk a little bit about your experience in terms of after you've accepted the offer to be a part of the show. Of course, you have to practice, you have to know the names of the dances, learn the steps, partner with somebody, practice. What has it been like from the moment you said yes and you met with the team at Dance Ensemble?
Okay, so it has been a great experience because, as you all know, I am not a dancer.
That's right.
I am a singer. But during this whole experience, the practices that we have so far and stuff, it has been awesome. Don't ask me the name of dances. I have my own names for the dances. So when I heard the correct names, I'm like, what? Okay. But we understand each other. So it has been a great experience, and so far so good.
And in terms of partnering with the professional who is training you, how has that been for you in terms of developing relationships? Because when we look at the international Dancing with the Stars, we hear the stories. Oh my gosh, when I started, I couldn't dance. And thank God for my partner. He was so supportive. What is that relationship like for you?
And that is almost the same thing. It's just that I already knew the basic steps, and everybody knew a basic step. But dancing with my partner, this man is making me look good.
That's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear.
If I dance and I feel like I'm gonna stumble, I feel that strength holding me up, man. I am good with that. Yes,
I'm happy to hear it. Happy to hear it.
It has been good.
Mr. Skeet, I know probably when you start off in the first few sessions, the nervousness would have been there. Are those nerves still there? You feel a lot more confident?
I think, if I'm to be quite frank, and good morning again, the nervousness for this started about 3 years ago. And I make that point because circumstances didn't allow. But it was when I was on Tobago Updates hosting that I was first approached by Dance Sport. For circumstances, I couldn't participate. Next year that came around, similar challenge would have occurred in relation to the time. And then, I really had to commend Nikisha, right? Her persistence and commitment to this engagement on behalf of dancers is exceptional. When she came back, I literally said, I've run out of excuses. But I am going to take on the experience. It has, I won't lie to you, one of the greater challenges for me has been finding that time slot. In a given day. That's been one of my major challenges. However, just as, we indicated, between, my dance partner and the instructor and so on, they have really, really assisted immensely in terms of giving the kind of support that is required every step of the way. Even after a long day, when I doubt myself, they say, don't worry, you got this. We're going through with today's practice. So that has really been an excellent part. And most certainly as well, family have been very, very encouraging. Probably critiquing me a bit too much, but that's part of the growth and development.
I know for a lot of persons, especially particularly adults, that they're well into the business of their life, having these kinds of co-curricular activities or these things to do on the side, it becomes very fulfilling, and sometimes it helps you with your confidence. I don't know if that has been your experiences as well.
Yes, because so because I sing,
yes,
I am accustomed to the stage.
Yes,
so that would give me a little more. Those butterflies would not be there as much as they would have been if I was just going to just dance without having anything in the background to say, well, let me fall back on, So while I'm dancing, I am also singing in my head the song. So to give me that confidence and that flow. So.
Okay.
And in terms of the whole process, I mean, it's something new to you. As you said, you're not a dancer by profession. What have you been able to learn about yourself? Because one is a sacrifice. It's something new. It's a sacrifice. It's a challenge. What have you learned about yourself in terms of when you pour yourself into this and say, listen, I'm doing this, come what me? What are some of the things you discovered?
That I could actually dance. And I can follow my partner. It's like, I didn't know dancing was such a I see these people dance. I have learned some line dances from them coming to the Kerouac where I sing and stuff. But actually getting into it and doing it, listen, I am a dancer.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So now I have two things to add to my name. I'm a singer, dancer, entertainer.
That's right. That's right.
I think the experience for me was a flip side one. Most people expect that from where I sit, you are not diverse, and I tell persons, I say when I stand on a stage to host an event, I'm a customer host.
You're in your element.
When I sat on TV then to host, I'm behind a camera, but you're not going to put me in front of an audience doing something that you're developing that skill for. So for me, there's been that middle ground, but I think one of the things I've learned over time is kind of how you manage those nerves. So that it isn't as visible. But really, it has been, and I continue to see quite a good experience. And I think even from where I work, I find myself at times now, I'm doing files and I'm engaging in work during the course of the day, and I'm hearing the rhythm of the song playing, because the network know they insist, you make sure, become one with the music. So I am literally, probably occasionally when the door is closed, I may take a step in there just to get that kind of, but really a good experience and a lighter side to what might be a normal routine. And I suppose this is one of the good things about life in terms of challenging yourself, to try something different.
So this is your opportunity now to get all your fans, your friends, your family, your loved ones to come out and support you. So tell them where to come, when to come, and why to come.
You're going to start us off,
Okay, so I just want to let everybody know, on Saturday, 12th of July, it's going to be an experience. It's going to be something that you don't want to miss. I am asking everybody, come out and enjoy this evening of dance. Dance is something, if you don't know about it, this is the time to come out and experience it.
We just want to remind persons, this has been going on for a number of years. Kudos and congratulations to Dance Ensemble. With the dance sport, there are various categories. Come out and see, to enjoy, come out and see your Caribbean stars. And there's also a new category, servicemen. Servicemen.
Wow.
They're always recreating, so we encourage you to come out and enjoy the experience and give us all that support. It's not easy being on stage, so we look forward to your support.
Of course. And you do have the support of the Tobago Updates television family, rooting for you guys, of course. Julian, being a part of our family for so many years. Every time the ad comes on, I'm not going to lie, I gotta be candid here. Every time the ad comes on, I'm like, Julian! So we are supporting you guys, and we're happy that you're having this experience. And we do want all of Tobago to come out. And even if you're in Trinidad and thinking about coming across, come across.
Yes.
For beautiful Tobago experience as our local celebrities here show their stuff on the stage for you come July 12th. We have to go for a short break before we continue conversations. And as we go, everybody help us to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance, our 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Chopin Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirror Ball Trophy? Mrs. Takiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios. And Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show, dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Chopin Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
when the game is on. You don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Hi, good morning. Welcome back. And of course, we are into the sporting segment at 1 minute to 8. Again, I'm blaming Ronald Wood for this late segment. And we're going to go until 8:30 this morning. We are at the Magdalena. Yeah, Magdalena, beautiful Magdalena this morning. And just chatting with Akinlabi about all that's happening with sport in Tobago. And, I came here this morning, on my way here, I was very much upbeat, knowing that we have so much happening with sports, and we have a number of Tobagonians going out there and represent Trinidad and Tobago. Only to hear on another frequency that the NACAC team that should have departed this morning to go to Nicaragua, the NACAC team representing, Trinidad and Tobago team made up of all Tobagonians, both athletes and management. I am told that they were denied boarding because they didn't have vaccination. Have you ever heard of such nonsense, Akinlabi?
I've never heard of this.
I've never heard of such nonsense. And I'm calling it nonsense because you cannot tell me that the entry is been doing this for how many years? Decades. And I'm sure that they have traveled to Nicaragua before and they have known that to go into Nicaragua, you have to have your vaccination. You understand? Yellow fever vaccination or whatever vaccination cards you have to have. We didn't have it, so they were denied boarding. As a result of that, they couldn't travel to Nicaragua to compete as a Trinidad and Tobago team. And I jokingly mentioned earlier this week when I saw the listing of the management and of course the athletes that it was a Tobago national team because all the athletes obviously from Tobago and all the management from Tobago. Can you imagine the feeling at this time of those young athletes not being able, some for the very first time because some would have gone before, making your first national team, excited to go out and represent your country, your family, your friends, and to be told that they can't travel.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that for the athletes, it might be a feeling of disappointment, serious disappointment. But for the management, that's embarrassing.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
Of course, it's embarrassing. The athletes would have put in all the work. That have actually gotten themselves selected, and the management, all they have to do behind the scenes, ensure you get the ticket, hotel accommodation, gong transportation, and one of the most important things you have to, even me, when I'm traveling, I look to see what I have to get to go into a country. It must have vaccination, right? Some countries it's relaxed, but Nicaragua, I'm sure that's on their website. And how are you going to come to me and explain you missed that as management? Or is it that it came in after? But and
when do the games start?
Well, they were traveling today. I think tomorrow the games would have actually started. Right?
So even if they go and get the vaccines today, it might be too late.
But that's the next thing, because I was actually trying to get onto Kelsey, who's a coach. But I could imagine her head at this time. So hopefully we can provide an update throughout the day. On the realities of what's to come, what's plan B. Right?
And they're already in Trinidad.
They're already in Trinidad. I think they went to Trinidad last night to travel this morning.
So the AAAs now, are they going to be paying that additional hotel fees that kind of thing?
This is a developing story. So I'm hoping that we can get more information. But at this time, that's news that I received on another frequency from someone I know very credible, that they were denied boarding because they didn't have the vaccination. A team made up of Tobagonians Tobago, Nancy. From the coach Kelsey, we had Cheryl McPherson, we have Alan Morrison as well, and Soren Bishop. Those were the coaches appointed, and all the athletes from Tobago not going. I mean, if I sit here and I want to be like very, very biased in a sense, I mean, it looks like sabotage to Tobago athletes or Tobago team.
And Tobagonians would immediately go to that they're going to go for that thought. The historical kind of treatment that we received.
Exactly.
A lot of Tobagonians are going to go straight to that.
Exactly, because this is historic. It's the first time we have had a team selected where all Tobagonians representing the country. And obviously it was blown up on the media as well. Very, very historic. And, coming from a place where we don't have the right to see them to train. And I really want to shout out to all the clubs, all the coaches that would have prepared all the athletes and that have gone on there, put in the work, only to be denied by some vaccination card that I believe the entries should have been on top of. Very, very, very much embarrassing.
I would be really interested to hear what the entry is going to say as to the reason for this slip up, because this is something that is very rudimentary.
And it's common. It's common because, as I said before, if I'm traveling to a country that I haven't traveled to before, I will try my very best, especially with the airline I'm traveling with. They normally publish all these things. If you're going to travel to a particular country, they will tell you have to get this, you have to get that. And obviously coming out of COVID, these are things that you always have to get to do. International vaccination card. Not because it's not required to go to the USA. I will always put that in my bag, just in the event that they ask for it, because they don't want to be in a country that they can't return home because they don't have a card. And I mean, this is not first time. We are accustomed traveling to these countries, and I'm really looking forward to see what the NGOs will put out as an excuse.
Yeah, because this is, like you said, this is not the first time. This is basic protocol. You've never heard of anything happening like this with any of our track and field teams before, which means that the NAAA is accustomed checking up on vaccination cards for all the athletes and all the management. So how come in this one instance,
where all Tobago athletes,
you all of a sudden your protocols fall apart?
I will not cast any aspersions this morning, but I mean, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck. So I'm looking forward to getting from the entries, because as I said, I try to reach out to Kelsey, but I can imagine where her experience is at this time, and how are you going to console the athletes, because to get selected for your very first national team and tell all your friends, hey, I'm going to Nicaragua, but you're remaining Trinidad, that's embarrassing. And then you may not want to go again because you'll be fearful that if I go through this again, maybe I'm not going to be able to represent my country. And also, I'm hoping that there is a plan B, that somehow later on this evening we may be able to get on. But how fast can we get the vaccination cards from if it is that we have to get it from, where we have to get it from?
Well, they have to get them from Tobago, or they give them brand new vaccination cards in Trinidad.
So I'm hoping, Akinlabi, that there's another flight sometime this evening, or probably tomorrow morning, that we can still get in. And probably if it is that we may have to miss an event, but to still get the travel experience.
And that's the next thing. You miss an event, a child that worked their whole, they put in so much sacrifice. And that might be the only event they participate in, and they're going to miss it.
That's really bad. So, I came here this morning, obviously, to just do a sporting roundup. I'm sure that you have been following all the different things that happen.
I try my best.
That's been happening. You'll have had our conclusion of the Primary Schools Cricket League, and I'm seeing in the corner of my eye when Elwood giving me the signal again. At 1 minute to 8, we came on talking sports. I mean, you're behaving like the back page of them papers, But anyhow, we're talking about Primary Schools Cricket League, right? And we had Wim Anglican being crowned champions for a second consecutive year. And I want to say congratulations to Wim Anglican. And then we had Scarborough FC. They are going to represent the Tobago zone in this Republic Bank sponsored cup. It's 5 overs, 5-a-side, a kind of kiddie cricket thing. Yeah. Very exciting. And they would have won the Tobago district where they competed against 10 other teams. And they're going to go to Trinidad next Wednesday to compete against the other zonal winners. So I want to congratulate Wim Anglican for being crowned the Tobago Primary Schools League champions consecutive years. I won it last year. And then Scarborough FC winning the Republic Cup. And of course, we're going to be having an international youth cricket tournament. I mean, forgive the bias of cricket, right? But it's happening right now.
Yes.
Right? So we have an international youth tournament starting on Sunday, where we have 3 teams coming out of the UK. They are going to be here. A team from Barbados, a team from St. Lucia. We've got 2 teams from Trinidad and then 1 team from Tobago. They will be competing in this international youth tournament right here in Tobago. 8 teams. We're going to have matches at Plymouth, Speyside, Shore Park, Roxborough, and Moriah. We're going to hear much more about it on Monday. I think one of the organizers from the UK, they are due to come on the Tobago Updates program Monday morning to talk about how this came about and, how is it going to impact Tobago? And I'll look ahead. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Let's encourage all of Tobago interested in cricket to get out there on Sunday. I'm going to, of course, obviously share the schedule because I'm not too sure what time the game's going to start as yet. But we're going to have 50 overs, which normally will start around 10 a.m. And then we're going to have T20s, which will normally start in the evening or afternoon period. So on Sunday, it's going to start on the Sunday and finish on the 14th. Right? So something to look forward to, especially for the youngsters. Final week of school next week to get out there and take it in. Yeah, so and we also have basketball at Montgomery this weekend. I think the playoffs for the Tobago Basketball League is going to happen at Montgomery this weekend. We haven't had, well, actually I've seen local basketball though.
It's been a while.
So they would have had it at the indoor, the complex, Shopper Complex. They had the preliminary rounds and they're going to have the knockout stages this weekend at Montgomery Hardcourts, a brand new Montgomery Hardcourts. Then we had rugby. So you saw the rugby action at the Colon Beach facility, where we had some teams coming from outside of Trinidad and Tobago participating there as well. And I spoke to the main organizer, Jay Wright, and she told me that it was a success. I mean,
that's a sevens competition.
Yes. First time that I've had it at I think the second year that I've had it at the beach facility.
This is the first time I'm actually hearing about rugby on sand.
You see, again, sport always on the back page. Always on the back page,
Never heard about rugby on sand at all. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the first time they had it on the beach, but kind of beach atmosphere.
Right.
And it was really, really exciting to see. Obviously, sand, tie you throw your body around in that sense, First time they have had it, and speaking to one of the organizers, he mentioned that they were very low in terms of sponsors, and they're hoping to get it bigger and better next year. But we really have to do better when it comes to sport advertising and marketing and getting sponsors on board. Because I mean, these events, sport tourism, it can do a lot for Tobago. And I'm sure if Tobago would have actually seen or heard about the event, more persons would have gone out there and gotten on board. So Akinlabi, in terms of the roundup of sports, really sorry to come with this sad news of the NACAT team.
It was important. We really need to talk about that. That's a breaking story, and quite frankly, that's our Tobagonian boys and girls. We need to look out for them. We need to advocate for them and make sure that they're treated well.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm hoping that I get more information on it and can share with the Tobago Updates followers and of course on social media as well. Hoping that we still get a travel.
Yes.
So that's a wrap for me. Well into the 8 o'clock hour. We have Chanel up next with Good Morning Tobago. So viewers, thank you so much for again tuning into the sporting segment. Very short sporting segment this morning. Hopefully next week we're gonna have at least the whole hour to talk about all the development of sport on the island. Look forward to that interview on Monday. Chris and the others from the UK to talk about the International Youth Tournament. And don't forget, tomorrow we have Sun Up. Sun Up tomorrow. Sun Up tomorrow. I know we have no interview with Sun Up, but don't forget Sun Up happening tomorrow out there in Argyle. Yes? Akinlabi, nice being here this morning.
All right.
Hey guys, well, of course, right after the break, we're going to have Good Morning Tobago with Chanel Felix. Of course, don't forget to share the live.
career day is one of the most important days in the lives of the students, because these students are just discovering themselves, and we want to expose them to as much possibilities as possible, so that at the end of the day, they will not only be limited to what they knew before, they will see, well, okay, maybe all the time I was stuck thinking that I wanted to do this, but there is something better for me to do. So better exposure, better choices means that you have a greater chance to succeed in life.
We have about 30 different booths. The professions vary from tertiary education to entrepreneurship, to employment after college or after high school, which is WASA. We have THTI, we also have MIC, COSTAT, and we have makeup artists, nail technicians, and barbering going on the inside of the building as well. Our theme this year is Step Out into New Possibilities, and I want my students to understand that it's not just a closed-minded thing where it's just early morning work for them. It's more creating your own employment, finding new ideas to create employment in Tobago. Don't sit and wait for somebody else to employ you.
It's wonderful is for us to get to know more about the careers that are out there that we need. If we want, we could join and become someone in life and don't end up on the streets or begging for little dollars and $2. I want to become a policeman to bring law and order to the society of Trinidad and Tobago.
It's a fun thing to let the kids learn about what they have to do in life and thing. My favorite part is the cooking part.
I think it's very inspiring to the upcoming youths.
I have been at a couple of career fairs in the sense of teaching children how to trim. Also, barbering is it's something that is be overlooked, I should say, but is one of the most essential part of grooming, because men need to be groomed in order to go out to places, whether it be the workplace or out at parties, etc. And it tends to be overlooked. So I choose to come to the career fair to promote myself and also to teach people how to become a barber.
I believe in career fair because it allows for an opportunity for students to understand what career path that they would like to go into, and stepping into your new possibilities is one of the things I think is a good team, and what it allows for students to understand that they have to know their purpose, they have to know what they desire in life, and from that build on their brand and what they want to become as future generations.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Serves as a culminating event of the department's commemorative activities in observance of the International Labour Organization's World Day for Safety and Health at Work 2025. This year's theme, Revolutionizing Health and Safety, the Role of AI and Digitalization at Work, inspired the OSH department to integrate technology into all major activities.
think it's a fantastic idea. I think safety could be overlooked. And as I did in my research, I noticed that it costs billions actually. And the loss of life is in the millions. Just because people are not mindful of some of the simple things. You know, and to have it highlighted in this way is really beneficial.
The fact that persons are now more aware of it, and we see that there is a widening of information. So more persons are now informed about occupational safety and health, and as a result of such, they're actually helping to implement these things in the workplace, and by such, they are now able to put it out there.
When I first was invited to join the safety committee, I understand that safety is part of everything that we do, so it was an easy fit. Safety is part of me. It's not like I went out there looking just to look for an award. I was actually surprised when I was awarded. It was just me doing my work, understanding that safety is over everything.
This is the second year in a row I've won Employee of the Year, and honestly, it caught me by surprise, right? Yes, I work hard. I'm very, dedicated to my job. Probably a little too much. But it feels good that I'm actually recognized for making a change within my division.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But this morning, I want to let you know we have a really, really interesting topic and guest in studio with us this morning. We have a specially invited guest in the Secretary for Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation. I am sitting this morning here at the Magdalena Grand Hotel with a beautiful view and chatting with the lovely Councillor Tashia Grace Boris. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel, and good morning, Tobago Updates family. Good morning, Tobago and Trinidad, wherever you tuned in. I'm hoping that everyone is having a wonderful Friday.
Excellent. It's always a pleasure to have a conversation with you, specifically in this setting, and, being able to ask those questions and getting an update on all that's happening with the work that you're doing. And, recently, if we look on social media, we see that you have been recognized very recently in New York. And, we have this saying that you don't get recognized at home, you get recognized abroad.
That is true.
Or it takes strangers to acknowledge our contribution or what we're doing before our own people could even do it. And, you have gotten a little taste of that.
Yes.
in your challenging first term.
Well, yes, of course.
In office, And so you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel there with being recognized and appreciated for the work that you're doing. And I'm talking about, the proclamation that was given to you by Senator Kevin S. Parker from New York recently. Tell us about that.
So this, we went to Caribbean Week in New York, and this happened in the first week of June. So we had a delegation from Tobago, and this is part of the Caribbean Tourism Organization celebration of Caribbean Heritage Month. So funny enough, in the opening ceremony, the deputy mayor of New York, who is in charge of administration, is actually from Trinidad and Tobago. And, you know, there was an acknowledgement that there are 1 million persons living in New York who are of Caribbean descent. And the CTO takes the opportunity every year to invite all the territories within the Caribbean to come to New York, to reconnect with the diaspora, to be able to give updates as to what is happening in their respective territories. And Tobago was able to participate this year. And while I was there, I was actually asked to sit on a panel by Miss Marie Theodore. She is an influencer out there. And, you know, influencer marketing is big in the tourism space. And it was in celebration of New York Music Month. So, you know, because Tobago has a solid profile where events and cultural tourism is concerned, she invited me to come and speak about our events and festivals on the island. And while I was doing that, she presented me with this proclamation that came from the U.S. Senator Kevin Parker that recognizes my contributions in that short space of time that I've been in this seat in terms of selling the island of Tobago and going out there and really doing the work to really put Tobago on the map during the time that I've been Secretary of Tourism. While I was also out there, the Caribbean Tourism Organization also recognized me as one of their 40 women leaders in the region where tourism is concerned, and they had the first edition of From the C-Suite launched, and I'm featured in that magazine. So that particular week, I was honored by the CTO as well as receiving this proclamation. What I would say is that, you know, certainly I did not plan. And it was surprising when I got it, because sometimes you put your head down and you're doing the work, and you're hoping for the results. And regardless of what are the obstacles or the challenges you meet, it's not about what comes to you. It's not about the benefit that is coming to me personally, but how everything that I'm doing is redounding to the benefit of the destination and the island and the people of Tobago. So obviously, you know, I felt overwhelmed at the idea that putting my head down and doing the work, that someone is noticing that, and someone no less than a U.S. Senator has recognized that. And I think that it serves as an opportunity for all of Tobago to understand that regardless of where you're at, somebody is recognizing you, somebody is seeing what you're putting into the space. And I think we also have to work on how we are recognizing the efforts of persons. I mean, this year we have our long service awards for our employees, our retired employees, planned for November, as well as we want to have some industry awards as well, because we recognize that there are people in the industry who have been doing human service, who have been in the trenches, who have survived COVID, who are continuing to utilize innovation and creativity to drive tourism forward. And we as a division of tourism want to take the opportunity to also recognize those persons as have contributed to the growth of the division over the years that they've worked there.
Right. And how does this award align with the strategic tourism development goals for the island? How does it feed into some of the plans for developing the sector?
So for me, I mean, putting the award aside, because awards are given based on individual merit, you know, so there might be something that people have seen of me and they decide to award me. But bigger than that for me, even going out to the schools, because you notice that I've been going to schools over the last couple of weeks and talking to them about the tourism sector and how they could get involved and how they could become excited about the tourism sector. And I feel awards like these are a motivation to young people, because tourism is not considered a traditional area of focus. You know, a lot of times as parents, we raise our children, we want them to go study and we want them to be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, something like that. But because Tobago has huge potential where tourism is concerned, for people to understand that tourism is not just working in a hotel, it's not just working in a bar, that there are so many other rewarding careers that you can have in the tourism sector. And also to understand that even if you don't think your career is in the tourism sector, once you're living on an island where we're welcoming visitors, chances are you would always be in the forefront of interacting with those persons. So broader strategic development goals for me, and some of them were mentioned in the budget, because we have this new strategic development pathway that the THA is using, and that is aligned to the SDGs. And tourism has 3 SDGs in particular that we are focused on. And it deals with, one, sustainable tourism. It also deals with providing work for persons, and as a wide range of persons. And that's what the industry does. It's a driver of employment in this space. And how are we planning better? How are we utilizing the tools that we have? How are we looking at the trends outside of Tobago and being able to get on board with new trends? Not just trying to compete with what has been going all the time. Mass market tourism, niche tourism, but specialized niches, the things that Tobago have a competitive advantage in. So for me, there's so much work to still be done. And it's not up to me alone. We need people who are coming into this space who are passionate about this sector. And the work that I really have to do from a local perspective, and I hope that the award kind of gets people to understand that, you have to be passionate about this sector. There is so much that we can do, but we have to get excited, we have to get passionate, and we have to get down to getting the work done, together.
Right, and even with this proclamation being given, as you indicated, it's individual, but it also recognizes the island. Mm-hmm. Does this make for any type of collaborations moving forward as it pertains to promoting Tobago in
So while I was there, it was such a productive exercise, and all of the travels that I take are really focused on building partnerships and collaborations. And on this particular trip, I had the privilege of speaking with Mr. Frederick Morton Jr., who's the CEO of Tempo Networks, and, really kind of driving home to him that Tobago is the next hottest thing. And coming out of that conversation, we've already started talks regarding a collaboration between Tobago and Tempo Networks and utilizing their platforms to showcase Tobago regionally, because the regional market is a market that we haven't really massaged. We focus a lot on the domestic market. We focus a lot on the international long-haul market. But the regional market has so much potential that we have not looked at just yet. So we are in talks with them for a possible collaboration with Tempo Networks to market and promote Destination Tobago and all things Tobago. In addition to that, I had the opportunity to meet a young man who is head of a Black Travel Influencers group. And they travel to different destinations all over the world experiencing carnivals. And he indicated that based on what he saw of Tobago Carnival, they have Tobago Carnival on their radar. And they want to bring a group of persons to Tobago Carnival next year. So we've also started discussions with those persons, and we recognize that group travel is a space that Tobago can also make its mark. Group travel, sports tourism, conference travel. So it's not just talking to the one-on-one travelers, the small families, the couples, or the solo travelers, but we have these travel groups that are going about to different destinations, and they want to access different things in a destination. They're not only coming for sun, and sea, they're coming for events, they're coming for sports, they're coming to sleep, because some of these trips are really as a result of burnout on the job and burnout in life, and they simply want a quiet destination where they could get away. They don't want much. All they want is a comfy bed and warm breakfast at any time in the day. And these are the things that I feel that Tobago could begin to segue into in terms of taking advantage of some possible competitive advantages that we can exploit in this space. So, coming out of these conversations, again, so much to do. The thing that stands out to me always when I'm outside is that they recognize that Tobago is showing up, because it's not just enough to say that we're marketing, but Tobago has to show up in the room, and that is why the secretary has to be present. That is why a representative from TTAL has to be present. That is why staff of the division have to be present. I would like to see the day where I don't have to travel, where I could just pack up my suitcase, because traveling is very tiring, and that I know that there are people in the division that I can simply send, because there are things happening all over the world at the same time. I can't be everywhere at once, but I need to know that I could send my tourism manager to Grenada. I can send my research person over to UK. I can send my marketing manager over to the United States. I can have a team in Guyana doing a roadshow. This is where my mind is at from a strategic setting. It's not about the secretary going. It has to move beyond that. It's not just me has to show up in the room. The destination has to show up in the room. And the best ambassadors for the destination have to show up in the room.
Right, and even in this 2026 fiscal budget, we see an increased allocation for marketing for Tobago as a destination. I believe it was 105.
Right.
150.2 million.
So 152 million, that represents the entire Arts Under Development program. Okay. So that is not just marketing. That would be us asking for money to run our programs like Talk, because that's the accommodation program. That is for us to invest in more airlift. That is for us to continue our upgrade and renovations to our sites and attractions. That is for us to create new sites and attractions and to be able to put some more investment in this space where it concerns ensuring that sustainable tourism is at the top of the agenda. That is more investment in training in the sector, not just customer service training, because we need training across the gamut of the space. We need executive leadership in tourism. We need people who can write policy. We need people who are cultural researchers. We need people who are driving the orange economy. And all of that money is really to drive those sectors. So when it comes to marketing, we always ask for the money. We always ask for the money. We don't ever get it though, because TTAL's allocation in any given fiscal year is divided between their recurrent expenditure, which is the money that they spend for bills and salaries and things like that, airlift and marketing. And the bulk of the money that they get is to service our airlift contracts. And that is very little, is left over for actual marketing activities. What we have is, because we don't have persons in the space, meaning in TTAL itself right now, who are the ones actually physically going out and creating the content and doing the marketing. We have marketing reps in our different major source markets. Those things are not cheap. These companies are on retainer. They are being paid in foreign exchange. So again, strategically for me, I would want to go to a place where we have the talent in Tobago who's creating the content, and we're putting out our content ourselves instead of paying persons to put out our content. So this is where we want to go to. We need that support. So in terms of making an argument for the investment in this sector, it is not just pure marketing, but we have to develop all of these things that are direct inputs into making the sector work and making the ecosystem come alive. Certainly, there's a conversation that needs to be had about how we are driving foreign direct investment. And having a new administration in power at this time, I think this is a perfect opportunity for us to raise the issue of the land license and the revisions that have to be made to that arrangement for us to encourage foreign direct investments into the island. All of these things have to work in tandem. We have to look at customs and immigration. We have to look how we collecting data, because people like to talk tourist arrivals, for example, but that's not the number for me, because you could have 100,000 people on the island spending $1. Isn't it better to have 10,000 people who spending 10,000 each? So the figure for me is visitor spend. How are we tracking visitor spend? Can we talk about visitor spend per sector, whether it be in food and beverage, whether it be in accommodation, whether it be in events, whether it be in retail? We need to know what those numbers are, so that we have to build out that system where we are collecting that data. We need the sector to understand why we need the data, because if it is that we recognize that the trends are going in a particular direction with respect to a particular sector, then we as the government will know where we need to make an injection there, because something strange might be happening in that space. So I want people to understand that the tourism cannot continue to work in silos. We all have to be in
And so
on the
when
same
are
page.
you looking to, begin that initiative to drive that data collection?
So it's already started. It's already started. So we are going headfirst into digital innovation and having a person come on board that is going to be creating the software and creating the programs that allow us to collect that kind of data, and sensitizing our stakeholders as to why we need that data collected. And that data will be collected. It's envisioned that we'll be collecting that data across the island. So it's not just hard and fast traditional THTA or Reef Boat Association or the traditional stakeholders that we look at, but we're talking about the chamber, from the smallest parlor to the taxi driver. We need to know what kind of money is being collected as revenue in the sector. And it's not about trying to figure out who's not paying taxes, because I think that everybody, when they take money, they think, okay, the government wants to know who I'm paying taxes. It's not about that. We need to know what is the size of the tourism sector. Based on what is collected right now by CSO, based on what is collected right now by Division Finance Planning, the information does not paint a complete picture. We need a complete picture. So we are in the division taking the opportunity this fiscal to really focus, and not even this fiscal, we're actually starting immediately. So that project is going to start in the next few weeks, and we're going across into new fiscal with it. And people are going to see the launch of the activity. We're going to ask people to be inputting data, whether it be at our sites and attractions, whether it be when they are traversing the roadways into Tobago, and you see a taxi driver, he has a QR code in his taxi, you could give some feedback as to how your experience was. So we are creating different data points, and we want to be able to collect as much data as we could, so we can have a truer picture of what is the size and the scope of the tourism sector on the island.
Excellent. Well, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back as we continue more of this conversation very soon. See you soon, guys.
a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks.
Quartz is well known as the Caribbean's largest retailer, providing consumers for generations with the very best products to enhance their homes. This year, we bring our expertise to businesses. Quartz Business Solutions will serve small, medium, and large companies with the very best products at the most competitive prices, backed by warranties and after-sales support. Hoteliers, office managers, restaurants, and so many more. Quartz Business Solutions, a brand of the Unicomer Group.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies, where innovation meets excellence and service reigns supreme.
Well, I want a proper window for me house, yeah? I want no shake thing in my place.
Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl, and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces.
We get one wall on the side and we get one hole. You can put a window there, invent something, a window for put there.
At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style.
Well, me meet ya. Me don't know who I'm talking to, but my cousin Tufina tell me, for call all you go get proper thing for put there. Me don't know.
Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business.
Driven? No, I ain't driving. I get a bus ticket. One of me pick me them go drop me down there. Must bring me down there. Russo Trey Springer down by the place down there.
Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products, it's about relationships. It's about you.
It's all about me? Who's your family? You know Edna and Dorka and them, you know them, but you resemble them Edward boy and Edward people them you.
Tobago Glass Supplies, Russo Trey Spring Garden, telephone number 639-6266. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 bottle of rum, DJ start the thing, let me jump. Cause I see girls, I see fun, I see winding up in the sun, I see 10 girls to a man, DJ start the thing, let me rum my shit. When my team touch down, everything get wild. Hey, 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 take out your flag and fling it up, take out something and fling it up, fling it up, fling it up high. Hey, 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 start to jump up and fling it up, take out something and fling it up.
Tobago, this is your chance to lock in the brunch experience of the summer. Sun up.
Real bad girl, get nasty.
The brunch inclusive edition, the ultimate party in the East, where vibrant flavors, refreshing cocktails, and electrifying vibes collide. It's happening on Saturday, July 5th from 3 p.m. at Deltec Compound, Argyle. Bring your coolers, bring your crew, and brunch, sip, and vibe in style. This is the flavorful escape you've been waiting for. Grab your tickets now at Barcode, Pablo Supermarket, Lost Restaurant and Lounge, Deltec Compound, and committee members. Sun up! It's more than a brunch, it's an experience.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies.
Right here on Tobago Updates, guys, I have been sitting and chatting with Councillor Tashia Grace Forrest. Good morning and welcome back.
Good morning again.
Now we've been having an extensive conversation both on and off air. But we want to touch a bit on Tobago's Carnival because you spoke a lot about persons being interested in coming to Tobago. And this is just one of the many activities that are happening to help boost that tourism and driving that economic growth, through visitor arrival and festival tourism. Talk to us about the marketing for that. Last year, we saw a number of the stakeholders coming out and, saying we take too long to begin to market this festival. Although the dates are out there, when it comes to that activation and going to different places and, sending out the ads and, just engaging the public.
Right.
It happens too close to the actual date.
Well,
So tell us what's happening.
what they see is what happens. That happens close. But marketing for our events and activities is a year-round activity. We have a number of events on the event calendar. So you're talking about a Heritage Festival, and we're in the middle of it. The Heritage Festival has started. You're talking about a Blue Food. You're talking about Tobago Carnival. You're talking about the activities we do in February for Carnival. And all the other things that are happening in between, from our harvest festivals to our fisherman festivals, to different conferences that are happening on island, to different sports tourism events that are happening on island. So, marketing is actually the end of the funnel. There's support that we have offered to the stakeholders from very, very early for them to market their bands, because the carnival activity is done in October. We already know what the carnival gives. Our diaspora markets are tuned in to the activity known as carnival. We are also taking the opportunity every time this secretary travels to talk about carnival. So if I'm in the UK in November, I'm talking about carnival. If I'm in Berlin in February, I'm talking about carnival. If I'm in the Grenada in April, I'm talking about carnival. If I'm in Barbados in August, I'm talking about carnival. So every trade show we go, every activation we do, whether it's an activation I do, or it's an activation that TTAL does, or it's an activation that one of our partners do, we are always talking about carnival. And this is different to marketing and promotion on island. Our biggest source market by numbers is our domestic market. And that domestic marketing of carnival really gets underway in August. And it started last year at the same time. It is going to be no different this year. Because remember, we have to give each of our festivals the opportunity to get maximum coverage, maximum airplay. And we have different markets that we're talking to. So for example, the Heritage Festival is largely a more localized market, a more diaspora-focused market. Yes, we have some persons coming over from Trinidad who are enjoying the heritage, but that market is particularly nuanced to that festival. The carnival has a different market. So that for us, we have to be able to spread that conversation and spread that marketing spend over several events over the course of a fiscal year. We just spoke about the fact that we don't have enough money. So that even if people are not physically seeing an ad going up, things are happening behind the scenes, and there are more things that could be done. Certainly, we have no end of content from the carnival, from user-generated content to the content that we have developed in-house, to content that other creators are developing, businesses have developed, accommodation people have developed. There is content all over. So it's really about how are we managing those marketing conversations in the space? How are we talking to the different segments? How are we stimulating people? And you can market the hell out of something, but if you don't have flights to back it up, because then you'll have a bunch of people who want to come, and then the question they'll ask is, how do we get there? So alongside that marketing, we have to be able to be sure to communicate to people, well, okay, we've sold you the idea of the greatest street party in the world. How are you getting to Tobago? So we're still in that conversation about more flights to Tobago. We just had the announcement of the restart of the late flights coming out of Port of Spain, and I hail that move, because for many months since I've been in this chair, we have been clamoring for several things. We've been clamoring for us to get back to our pre-COVID number of flights. These are critical and essential. Cannot have a minority leader standing up and talking about tourism dead, but I don't have the same amount of flights that I had pre-COVID. You're not going to get the same numbers that you were looking at. How are people getting into the destination? All we have are 3 international flights. We have a JFK flight, we have a BA flight, we have a Condor flight in winter, and we have a Barbados flight. So 4. 4 flights. 4 flights is not enough to drive international numbers. So we need more flights into the destination. Who is to provide these flights? International carriers. There are so many stipulations and so many processes that you have to go through to get international airlift in, so that every single destination who is successful at tourism has an indigenous airline. That indigenous airline, their airlift strategy is to drive numbers to the destination. Tobago has not been part of CAL's airlift strategy. They have been building airlift to other destinations. So I'm hoping that with this new administration, looking at the exigencies of what is taking place, because the reality is that people think that an airplane can just come. No. They have contracts with all of these different destinations. We do not know what is the nature of the contract. Some of these contracts might be commercial agreements. Some of these contracts may be MRG agreements for a specific period of time. Unless CAL is buying more planes to be able to service Tobago, we have to understand that it would take some time for us to get back on those flights. But I want us to know that that has to be the focus. Tobago needs connectivity from a regional perspective. That is why, in the absence of movement on the calendar, we have been engaging with airlines to provide some of those connections for us. And those conversations continue. And as I said, they don't start today and then our plane lands tomorrow. Sometimes things take months to negotiate. Sometimes they take years to negotiate because some of these airlines, they don't have licenses to fly. They have to apply for these licenses. They have to wait for approval. Then other things have to be done. They have to identify crew. They have to look at their internal resource requirements. They have to look at planes, because sometimes airlines order planes. The planes don't come when they order them. So they know how to rearrange their entire schedule, because they don't get the planes that they have ordered on time to be able to service some of the routes that they were looking at. So all of these things are happening in the sector, and it is so dynamic and things could change at the drop of a hat. So that where I'm at is really to get that airlift, to make sure that the people who want to come and experience everything Tobago has to offer, they can get to the destination safely and they can leave when they need to.
Understood. But there are a number of activities that are happening, a number of events. So, tell us a bit about what's happening, some of the things that we are unaware of, some of the things that we don't see happening. So what is really happening?
This is actually going to be a very crazy period for us, because July is usually the busiest period of the year, and October now, because of the myriad of activities that are taking place in those 2 months. But this year in particular, we have a number of things that are happening all at the same time, and it's stretching our human resources within the companies and in the division. So we do have the Heritage Festival going on. It started on July 1st with our Thanksgiving service, and it goes straight up to August 1st. And then in August itself, we have a number of activities taking place. I want to, put out into the public space that for the first time, Tobago is hosting the International Dodge Diving World Championship. And this is taking place from August 7th to August 9th in Charlottesville. And what Dodge diving is essentially similar to Red Bull Flugtag, those kinds of events that are really somewhat on the extreme end of sports activity. A diving platform is going to be built, and you're going to have all of these competitors coming from all over the world, and they are going to be diving into the blue waters of Charlottesville and being judged on their diving skills. And this event is a collaboration between the Tobago House of Assembly and the Dodge Diving International. And this event is envisioned to be taking place in Tobago over the next 3 years. So this year is going to be the first year. The marketing for that is going to be rolled out soon. We're going to start to hear more about it, because we want people to get excited about the idea of this new sport that is taking place on the island, because there is a focus to drive more numbers to the destination because of sports tourism. We have Tobago Day coming up, and I know that Tobago shows up big, loud, and proud in Tobago Day. It's one of our largest activations in the diaspora, and this year is not envisioned to be any different. We want to take the opportunity to really drive home in that space the fact that Tobago is a place to come, not just for Heritage Festival, not just for Carnival, but for year round, and to showcase all of the things that Tobago has to offer, not just for people who are from Tobago, but their friends, families, relatives, co-workers, anybody who has fallen in love with the island by route. As well as this year, we are celebrating Carifesta. So this is the return of the Carifesta activity. It's taking place in Barbados from the 22nd of August to the 31st. We are taking a contingent from Tobago. So a part of the national contingent will include TPAC being part of that national activation, and all of the activities that are taking place at Trinidad and Tobago has to be a part of. But Tobago also is taking a smaller delegation alongside them to make sure that Tobago is showing up, marketing everything Tobago, giving people a taste of Tobago, advertising the carnival, advertising Heritage next year, advertising all of the activities we have in the space, and really, again, talking to partners and making contacts and making collaborations in all of the spaces that we have. Toronto, we have a major diaspora event that takes place in the first week of September. And Toronto is a source market that we have had success in the past. And we have been trying to get a direct flight from Toronto for the last 2 years. I think the Chief Secretary is on record this week indicating that we've been having extensive conversations with CAL prior to this new government going to office about providing that direct airlift to Toronto. We're also talking to another carrier outside of CAL to be able to provide that connection. And we're hoping that we're able to get that Toronto flight up and running before Carnival. So that
there is a direct flight from Toronto to Port of Spain.
Yes, it is.
So usually they just do a stopover in Tobago after,
well, that is the thing. So what we're hoping for is based on all of the conversations that we're having, that even if it's not a situation that we can get a direct flight, that if it is that these direct flights are coming in and they would normally land in Port of Spain, that we can negotiate a stop in Tobago before they go on to Port of Spain. So all of these things are things that are on the table for discussion. That diaspora engagement is a Trinidad and Tobago activation. So it's a collaboration this year between the Division of Tourism, TTAL, and Visit Trinidad. And it really is to get our entire diaspora in the Toronto area to come out and celebrate independence, because it's just after that time, and to really, tease all of the things that make us proud to be Trinidadians. And again, we go back
to the idea of the data collection.
Yes.
You go to a lot of these events and you are exposed to your ideal target audience. To find out how do they want to contribute back to Tobago's economy. Specifically, when you look at that Tobago Development Fund that's coming up from the Division of Finance, you want to know to what extent are Tobagonians abroad willing to contribute back to Tobago's economy financially as well, even in where venture capital is concerned. So is it a part of the strategy to collect data during these visits?
So we always collect data, but data, different types of data are collected by different divisions and used differently. So the Division of Tourism collects specific kind of visitor data. The Division of Community Development would collect specific kinds of data. The Office of the Chief Secretary with the Foreign Direct Investment Unit, they would collect specific types of data. Division of Planning, they may have some data collection in between. What we need to do is centralize all of that data collection. What we also need to do is, from the level of FDI, is really show people the pathway of how you can contribute. Because you talk about the opportunity for the diaspora to come in and maybe collaborate or partner with venture capital. We talk about the diaspora maybe coming in and lending their skills and talents, because I know 2 years ago, under the same Teams Alliance from the Tobago, they came in and they did a medical mission in Tobago, and they came with their doctors and whatnot, and they were doing some yeoman service there.
And I think in an interview, they also indicated that there is a scholarship, for Tobago Day this year as well, in one of the interviews. But
myself?
No, when I interviewed one of the organizers for Tobago Day, they are giving a scholarship.
How do we extend that? Because there are projects that I think we could immediately identify in the Tobago space that our diaspora can really get on board in promoting and supporting. So it's not just about the THA given. For example, if I'm scrolling on Facebook, I always come across 1 or 2 posts every so often about photocopying machines in schools. All of the work that has to be photocopied on paper, the photocopying machine breaking down, Division of Education can't replace fast enough. This is an opportunity for the diaspora to maybe donate some photocopying machines. It's for us to look at smaller projects, whether it be painting a walkway, whether it be paving a road, whether it be fixing up a house for a disadvantaged family. I think that we have so many people who have so many things to give, and we have to find avenues for them to give and contribute, and for them to actually help us with their skills and their talents to be able to build out some of the systems that we need to be able to drive the progress of the island forward.
Excellent. But, as we continue this conversation, it's continuing to get more and more interesting, but we really have to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. So see you soon.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Dance Ensemble Tobago presents our signature event, Tobago Dance Sport Championship and Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Lights, cameras, dance on 12th edition on Saturday the 12th of July, 5 p.m. The Shore Park Cultural Complex Auditorium. See our dancers, all ages, compete in waltz, jive, rumba, salsa, mambo, and much more. Our Dancing with the Caribbean Stars. Who will take home the Mirror Ball Trophy? Mrs. Takiana Ned Augustine, the wife of the Chief Secretary of the Tobago House of Assembly. Miss Lynette Louis, vocalist entertainer. Mrs. Cassandra Thompson Forbes, journalist and Tobago correspondent. Mr. Javon Carrington, founder and head trainer of Dosfit Studios. And Mr. Julian Skeet, administrator and former TV host. After show, dance party with DJ Santa out of Trinidad. Early bird tickets, adults $200, children $75, and general tickets, adults $250 and children $100. Get your early bird tickets now from Dance Ensemble members, D&D Jewelers at Tobago United Cooperative, Milford the 24 gas station in Canaan, and the Shore Park Cultural Complex box office. For more information, you call 772-9049 and 340-5758. You can't miss this one.
Back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Again, I am your host, Chanel Felix. And just a reminder that we are coming to you live from the Magdalena Grand Beach Resort here in Tobago. So all those beautiful views that you have been seeing is definitely from right here at the Magdalena Grand Hotel. And this morning I continued chatting with the lovely Shea Grace Boris, who is, Counselor and Secretary for Tourism.
Yes.
Now, you've been doing a lot, but you have been given a heavy mandate in this budget, particularly that has been announced by the Secretary for Finance.
It's an exciting one, though.
She has, labeled tourism as being one of those economic pillars and drivers, and, to try to anchor that economic growth that they're looking for. For the average Tobagonian, when they listen to the budget, they listen to hear, how does this budget affect me directly? And, you have those reef tour operators listening. You have those persons with the villas and, the accommodations and the restaurants and all those small businesses that drive tourism, the tour operators, and they're listening to hear, if you are saying that tourism is going to be one of the greater drivers of the economy moving forward, how are we being engaged in this? So tell us a bit about that strategy.
So there's a simple funnel that I've used from day one. There are 3 pillars: standards and regulations. And that is literally policy. That's legislation. That's paper. That costs no money. But in order for us to be competitive as a sector, we have to be anchored by proper policy, proper legislation, proper guidelines. So standards and regulations are the thing that allow us to compete internationally. We are welcoming visitors from first world countries to third world countries. How are we managing our engagement with them from a policy legislative place? And that is why we have to have standards and regulations. And anybody operating in the sector has to understand the importance of standards and regulations. It protects us, it protects the destination, it protects the visitor. So we are going full speed ahead with that. We started the conversation with the last Minister of Tourism. We envision to continue that conversation because We feel as if the move that has been made by this new administration to anchor tourism with trade and investment speaks to us really aligning government policy with Tobago policy where the tourism sector is concerned. The middle part of the funnel, which is infrastructure development, and infrastructure development crosses everything. And infrastructure is not just physical infrastructure. It's people infrastructure. It's product development. It's investing in training and capacity. Everything that in the bulk of the spend is that. Because people need something to come to. We have to be concerned about the quality of what they come into. So you're asking how does that trickle down, that money that we are allocating in the budget trickles down to the average man. The investment is improving our product. Because once you have superior product, you can market it to the rest of the world. And that's why marketing is at the end of the funnel. But we have to fix home first. So you saw recently that we gave out checks under the TOP program and the TAG program. And that was just under $1 million. $1 million in the accommodation sector is no money. One property could actually spend $1 million, depending on the size of the property. We need to invest more money in product upgrades. So it's not just hotels, because what happened under the previous administration was when COVID happened, the focus was on putting support to hotels. Hotels are not the only actor in the tourism sector. You have an entire ecosystem of ancillary service providers who really got little or no support when the COVID-19 pandemic hit. We are trying to prevent that from happening again. So we will be launching very soon in collaboration with the Division of Finance, our tourism and creative sector support program. And that is a grant program and a loan program that is going to be administered under the Business Development Unit, specifically for businesses in the tourism, culture and creative sectors. So now, persons who are in the creative sector who may not have been able to access grants before are now given the opportunity to access grants. Something that is going to be a key change, especially for Tobago Carnival this year, is that grants will no longer be administered by the Tobago Festivals Commission. What we are moving towards is not necessarily a grant scheme where every carnival, you have a carnival band, you come, you get a grant, you produce your band, and that's it. We are looking at it as a long-term investment. So it's no longer you get a grant the size of the amount of masqueraders you have. That is an unsustainable business model. We have 2 tiers of grants, $20,000, $25,000, and then we have the loan program where you can borrow and you can get up to an access of $250,000. Because if you have a carnival band, you're running a business. A grant of $7,000 or $5,000 is just going to help you pay some bills that you've incurred for this year. But if it is that you have access to $50,000 as a loan and you're now investing in assets for your business, you're investing in an actual store, you're investing in equipment, you're investing in people, you're investing in marketing. That is the thing that is driving money back to your business, growing your business. So we see the injections that we are making, and that's just one example. We talk about reef tour operators. Now someone who's operating a reef boat can come and access that grant to improve their product on their reef boat. So whether it is to have repairs on their reef boat, whether it is to add some extra services, get, for example, one of the recommendations that I got from Mr. Cavallo, who is the cruise ship operator who brings all our cruise lines in, he indicated that in Mexico, for example, the tour boats that go out, they offer snorkel equipment to the people on board. Not all reef boats have snorkel equipment. With this grant program now, you can purchase snorkel equipment for your reef boat so that when people are coming, it's part of the service that you're offering. So we're looking at these injections as investments. We don't just want to give away money. So that all-encompassing work that we have to do to build the infrastructure of the sector. Training is very critical, and it's not just customer service training. We need executive leadership training because we're going to get new hotel plants coming in operation very soon. We had the announcement of the Hilton Tapestry that is going to go in Roxborough. We want to know that the managers, the people who are the middle managers and the CEOs and all, they are homegrown in Tobago. We still have a challenge with finding the talent because at the level of the TTAL that is responsible for marketing, we in Tobago, we cannot pay the competitive salaries that are being offered across the Caribbean for persons who are CEOs and directors of sales and marketing and directors of communication. So we're hoping that we can find that person in Tobago who we can groom to take up these positions. And that is why we're investing in the scholarship program. So all of that infrastructure development encompasses systems, encompasses people, encompasses technology, encompasses product development. That is where the bulk of the investment is going to go because we have to get up there where standards are concerned, both in service and in the actual product. And then on the final end, because we always talk about fixing your home first before you invite visitors in. Once home is fixed, because we have to run and chew gum at the same time. So we're fixing home and we're still inviting people in. Because regardless of where we are at compared to other destinations, we don't have 5-star accommodations. We have 5-star villas. We have 5-star service in some places. We need to have 5-star service across the island. While we're getting to that place, we are still welcoming visitors. They are still coming to see and enjoy. They're still coming to experience the unspoiled, untouched, undiscovered Tobago. And I just want people, general, all of us to understand that tourism is always a work in progress. There's always better to be done. There's always standards to exceed. There's always expectations to go beyond. And that is what we have to do. Go beyond people's expectations. Really deep dive into the thing, get passionate about it, become its fiercest defender, and, and work together to achieve the things we want to achieve.
Right. And, even as we round up our discussions, Monica's unfortunately,
we always run out of time.
We are out of time, but, this is my personal question. There's a THE election that's approaching soon. Would we see you facing the polls this time around?
I always said that, God led me into politics, and he continues to cover me with so much grace and mercy. And, I have to take this opportunity to thank not just God, because he has been the author and finisher of my faith in every respect, but he has brought people into my life who have really been a great support to me. My personal staff, good morning to each of you. I love all of you for being with me through the trials and the storms. I've had people who have been with me since I entered politics, and they're still with me to this day, always providing guidance and being a sounding board for all of the persons in Tobago who have looked at my growth and continue to support me and to scold me when I go wrong, because I don't always do everything right, Those persons have been praying for me, and they have been sending messages of support and guidance and faith and advice. It's an entire ecosystem that builds a me. So that even that award is all of those people feeding into me, and that is why that has been bestowed upon me. I didn't create myself, the land of my birth is what has created me. And, I don't make pronouncements as to how I serve. I've been in service. I've been working for 23 years, and when I look back on my professional career, I've said to myself, I've done everything that I feel that I could do by myself. It really now is to get everybody else on board with achieving the dream of the greatest sister island on the planet, a dream that I believe in with every fiber of my being. And I want all of Tobago to begin actually believing that dream and living that dream. So whether that means that I continue in public life, that is left to be seen. I'm always available to serve my island, and in any sphere of endeavor that I've been involved in, I've always been serving my island. So I look forward to many years of continuing to serve my island in whatever capacity. I will always remain a strong advocate for the people of Tobago. I will always remain committed to the ideals of what we have been able to build over the last 3.5 years. I think that this administration has done a tremendous job across all the divisions to start to move the needle in the right direction. I mean, we've had to face a lot of challenges. We had to face a lot of obstacles. But when you look at the individual secretaries, you look at the individual assistant secretaries, you look at those who are area representatives, the councillors, you see a group of people. When you look at the chief secretary himself, you see a group of people who are completely committed to growing this island. And as I say, achieving that dream for us all. So I just want to take this opportunity in advance to thank the people of Tobago for all of their support. Even those who have been my detractors and those who have criticized me, the minority leader, good morning. I continue to stay on my toes because you always have something to say that I have to respond to. But even those people need education. Even we still have people that need to be edified. Tourism sector is not simple. It's a very complex ecosystem, and it requires leadership that is attentive, flexible, dynamic, willing to learn, willing to take risks, willing to use innovation and creativity to drive things forward, willing to buck the trends, willing to be able to walk off the beaten path and create a new path. Tobago is in the best place, I think, right now to just simply continue to grow. We have been, in terms of our international image, Tobago is right up there with everybody else in the Caribbean. I always, among my colleagues in the Caribbean, I say Tobago is the Caribbean's favorite little sister. because we talk about being the sister island, we're the little sister of Trinidad, but now we've been adopted by everybody else. So Tobago is the Caribbean's favorite little sister. And I always say that we have the support of all of our regional colleagues. They want to see us grow. They want to see us succeed. They want to see us be able to compete. And I think that it's only up from here. There's no more turning back. There's no more COVID pandemic to talk about. Everything from here on out is on us. We have to put in the work. And when we put in the work, we'll get the results.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. Thank you to you and your staff for making yourself available to answer our questions and giving us the information that we need. We're wishing you all the best with the Tobago Heritage Festival in particular that's happening right now. So you can log on to the Division of Tourism and the Festival Commission's page on Facebook, and you can see the calendar of events that's happening there. And make sure that you share it and be a part of all that's happening. And also stay tuned to all the other activities that are happening on the island, whether it's, locally, regionally, or internationally, as it pertains to marketing Tobago to the world. Guys, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments, and all that you have been doing to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day. And before I go, let me just remind you that we are at the beautiful Magdalena Grand Hotel here this morning, right on the beachfront. So we want to thank all the staff and management of the Magdalena Grand Hotel for having us here. We're going to go downstairs and have a beautiful breakfast. So see you again next week.